Mayor Pete is continuing to fail even the most basic tests for a presidential candidate. So Jake Tapper, for the first time in his life, asked a decent question and followed up. And Mayor Pete's answer or non-answer is wild.
Senator Warren has said that she will not appoint any high-dollar donors as ambassadors. Will you make the same commitment?
Anybody I appoint to any office will be qualified, and they'll be there based on their readiness to do the job. Now, if I'm trying to figure out who ought to be a senior envoy to deal with, let's say, Afghanistan and Pakistan, and somebody emerges as the right person for that job with the best qualifications, are they going to turn out to be disqualified because they came to a house party for my campaign years earlier?
No,
now,
we're talking about big donors.
We're going to make
big dollar
decisions
donors
based on what is best.
Big dollar donors, not just somebody.
So the maximum donation allowed is $2,800.
Right, but there's bundlers, there's people who raise monies for super PACs. I mean, you know how it works.
Yeah, and how it's going to work in my administration is that any candidate to be appointed to any important position will be there on their merits and will be neither qualified nor disqualified based on the idea that they supported and believed in my campaign.
Dude, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Here's how you answer that question. Hey, would you appoint big donors to your campaign into your administration? No. You know people already have the perception of you as like, oh, you're the guy who's comfortable with corruption. That's you. That's Mayor Pete. That's you. So why would you not be like, well, no, I will not do that. I will not. I promise I will not appoint anybody who's a big money donor to me. I will not appoint them anywhere in my administration, anywhere in the government. That's all you have to say. That's the only right answer, by the way. But he can't say it. In a weird way, you got to give him credit because he's... I don't want to say he's being honest because he's not being honest, but he's being less dishonest than he could be. Let's say it like that. What Mayor Pete is doing here is he's sending out the bat signal to all the donors. And the bat signal is, dog, if you are a big donor to me, I got you. I got you. Don't worry. It's still safe. Even in this new political environment where everybody's saying corruption is bad. A little wink and a nod. I got you, dog. I got you. So, that's who Mayor Pete is, man. And Jake Tapper for the first time in his life with a follow-up question. Because Mayor Pete was feigning ignorance. And he was like, no, I'm talking about the big donors. I'm talking about, the bundlers and whatnot. Whether it's super PAC money, bundlers, what have you. That's what I'm talking about. And he's like, you will neither be, appointed or not appointed based on whether or not you're a supporter of mine. This is the way Washington works. Obama got a list from Citibank of who he should appoint in his administration, and he took their advice. He also had many donors who got ambassadorships. And Mayor Pete wants to continue that business as usual, which is basically my main objection to Mayor Pete. Which is, it's hilarious because he always acts like since he's young, like, oh, it's time to usher in a new generation of politics. It's like, yeah, but your ideology is the same as business as usual. Your ideology is the same as the past. So the new era of politics will actually come from the oldest guy in the field, Bernie Sanders, because he wants to make us social democratic again. So the main thing that's so annoying about Pete is that, like, he is, without a doubt, he would be a status quo manager. And the status quo is terrible. So I don't want a, like, little status quo manager who does minor tweaks. We need serious reform because we're so far afield now, we got to get back to sanity. And that requires massive change. And so, time and time again, he's made it crystal clear. That is not him. He's the candidate that wants to be president because he wants to be president. He wants a self-aggrandizement. He wants his name in the history books. It ain't really about the ideology because you can't really ascertain what his ideology even is because he contradicts himself all the time and, seems most adamant about protecting the status quo like you see here. So it's just gross, man. I hope people see through this nonsense.